Greetings, everyone. Let's get back to work here in the Infield Media Center. Danica Patrick joins us after the 2 NASCAR Nationwide Series practices this morning. Danica, fill us in on what you learned out there.
Well, hello. It's it's definitely hot out there, so we started the first practice, and I felt pretty comfortable, but, the car, we just got to get it to turn, and I think that's always something that, that I hear that, stock car drivers fight is getting the car to turn in the middle and where you need to compromise to make that happen. So, throughout the couple of hours of practice, we went through a lot of different stuff, that's for sure, a lot of different spring combinations, and I think by the end we got it to handle a little bit better mid off the corner, but it's just hot out there, and there's not a ton of grip in these cars, especially compared to what I'm used to. So we just have to, I think, find the best balance so that we have a consistent car in the race, and we can hold on and not be severely struggling at any point from the front or the rear. So it was good. We did a qualifying run, and it went all right. I thought a little bit tight, but. Yeah, I think all in all, I mean, we learned some, and we made it a little bit better when we needed to by the end, so we're moving forward.
Sounds good. We'll go straight to questions. Please raise your hand high so I can see you. Let's start with Jeff Hood in the back, Lewis, Dustin. Jeff in the back. And please raise your hands tall so our microphone helpers can see you.
RacingToday.com. Danica, go back to what happened a couple of weeks ago with the 89 car in New Hampshire. Is that over? Have you talked to Morgan? And what was it like to have your first run-in with another competitor in a stock car?
Well, it's not the first time there's been contact with me in a stock car. As I've been saying, it's not as easy in these cars to stay completely out of trouble, since you can touch each other, you can move around, you do move around more. In an Indy car, you don't ever really want to touch each other, even when you're racing as hard as possible up front. So, it's harder just to stay out of trouble. But, I didn't talk to him. I heard he came down, and, I don't think he meant to. I think that the cars just slide around a lot, and especially when you're talking about a short oval where, they're sliding up the track even more. I was sliding around in the race, so I'm not mad. It's just unfortunate that it happened. That's all.
Lewis.
Hi, Lewis Frank, Reuters and ESPN the magazine. Danica, the first 3 races you had nationwide, and as a matter of fact, ARCA, you had nice wide tracks, and 2 weeks ago you were at New Hampshire. So, are you thinking comfort level here?
Well, I think that one of the things for me is that I maybe run the last part of the race like I need to run the beginning of the race. So it allows me some more time before the leaders catch me, put me a lap down when the track's a little bigger. So I think that's a good thing for me. I think there's more lines to run out there. There's less variance in lifting and braking if you even do it. So, yeah, I'm a little bit more comfortable here, but, it's still challenging. It really is. I think that, I don't always know the difference between setup issues. Is it a spring? Is it something with the cambers? Is it, the bar? Is it geometry? I don't have any idea. I have no idea. So I'm not very good at helping Tony Jr. go in a certain direction. All I can say is what the car is doing. So, I wish I could help out more with that, but that's just going to come with time. And, I'm starting to realize this is really challenging. It's really hard, and I need to not be so hard on myself, and I need to just stay upbeat and take every lap as an improvement from the one before, and that's it. Just keep marching forward, and I feel kind of bad that it's not more amazing out there and I'm not higher up because it's more entertaining for the fans. It's a better story, but it's just very hard, and I think that speaks volumes about how good these drivers are in stock cars and just how challenging it is.
Dustin.
Long landmark newspapers. Danica, you maybe as well as anybody can appreciate the bubble of Dale Jr., the interest, the expectations, and the pressures not only to perform but to help raise a sports profile. since you've had an opportunity to kind of see that, maybe interact with him since the beginning of the year, what strikes you about the bubbles he's in, and maybe how it maybe compares to what your situation is in IndyCar?
Yeah, I mean, I maybe have some small part of what he has. I know he's got those 88 flags fly everywhere, so he's got a truckload of fans. But you know, it's for me, I can only speak from my perspective, in that I know that I want to do well for me and my team, to get the most out of our program, but I also want to do well for the fans too, because I want them to enjoy watching me and have fun and have something to cheer for. And so, and not every weekend can be great, and especially for me at this point in time trying to learn. So, I feel kind of bad that it's, like I was just saying, that it's I don't have better weekends. So I don't know if he ever gets any of that. I mean, I know that I was so happy for him last weekend at Daytona. I watched it, and I did hear him say this is for the fans. So, that's really all I can say. I think that, I've been dealing with a little bit of this for a while. I mean, I know he's been dealing with it for a long time, and it becomes a way of life. And anytime it gets bad, you just have to remember for a second how lucky you are, and how lucky you are that you have fans all around you all the time wanting autographs, and you have a lot of people rooting you on, and so on those tough days, you have to remember that. But those tough days are when I feel worst for him. I feel bad because it's not going better, but that's just life, and not everyone has a great day every day.
Let's work the center of the room. I saw some hands. Let's go Steve Ballard, Brian Nelson, and I see Pockrass, and then we'll work this way.
Steve Ballard, Indianapolis Star. Your IndyCar season hasn't gone to this point the way you would have hoped. It's easy to make the leap in logic that by coming over here you've detracted some from the IndyCar side. What's your response to that?
I've been working very hard in IndyCar, harder than ever, and man, it's just getting so difficult over there. There are so many great drivers. From top to bottom, and I almost compare it a little bit to NASCAR, where when you're running all right and you're near the front, but when you're not anywhere near it. So I mean, that's what I've struggled with. But that's all I can say, is it's just really difficult, and I don't believe that that this program has anything to do with the disappointment that I've had on some occasions in IndyCar. I probably had my best race of my career in an IndyCar this year, actually at Texas. Getting into the lead after the last stop and finishing second and running up front all day long, and not catching a strategy or a crash or anything and picking up spots. It was just really what it was. So sometimes when I feel bad about how it's gone, I think about that. But, yeah, I think it's just more difficult than ever.